Pocket FM.
To unlock all the episodes, click the link in bio.
Leo, who was standing next to him, turned his head and looked him in the eye. "No, I didn't see anything. I haven't done so in a while now." Haley continued to examine the body. She went around the man's neck. Underneath his beast armor, she pulled out a colored dog tag. Again, 2 bite marks on the neck, just like the other students, Haley thought. Is there really a beast inside the academy somewhere? The same thing that killed this man? Or is it something else? Haley then stood up from the body and walked forward. "Do you want the good news or bad news?" she said. "Just tell us everything," Faye replied. "Well, the good news is it's not one of the students." Haley then pulled out the tag, which was attached to a chain, and dangled it in front of the others. "The bad news is he was from one of the big 4 families." Each person's face dropped as soon as they heard the news. "Which one?" Faye asked. "The tag says True Dream." Faye immediately slammed her fist against the wall as she heard those words. Why them out of all the families? The big 4 families were the ones who had the power to rival the military. However, the True Dream family was the most unique out of the 4. They had the closest connection with the military, enough even to have a seat at the council table. This was all because of the head of the family, who had the ability to steal others' abilities. If anyone ever tried to rebel against the army, then they would get a visit from the True Dream leader, and they could never use their ability again. "We can leave him here for now, but it's best before we leave we bring his body and take it to the True Dream family. It's a pain, but they should be thankful we brought back one of their own," Faye said. After leaving the body be, they decided to follow the trail of blood back outside and into the stadium. And that's when they spotted the 2 kids lying down on the floor. "They're here! What luck!" Del said as he ran forward. Haley, Faye, and Del immediately went forward, while Leo was the only one who stayed back. For in the center of the arena, he could see a color of aura he had never seen before, one which was purple. Before the rescue team had arrived, Vorden and Quinn were both sitting down in the center of the arena. "Hey, I just noticed something," Vorden said as he pointed at Quinn's wrist. Quinn lifted his hand and looked at it, and even he was surprised by what he was seeing. The number on his wristwatch was still saying he was a level 1. "I thought you said it would change when I activated my MC points." "Well, that's what's supposed to happen." Vorden then placed his hand on his chin as he thought about it for a while. "Do you think it's because you're a vampire? Just like how I can't copy your shadow ability, the watch might not be able to measure your type of MC in your body." Hearing this news, Quinn was actually a little upset. He was looking forward to being able to use his powers freely. As a level 6 user, people would no longer challenge him just as he walked around the school. But now, if he showed he had shadow powers and the number on his wristwatch still indicated 1, they would be just as suspicious about him. "I think it's best if you hide your shadow ability for now," said Vorden. "You've already hidden your vampire abilities for this song. You can hide your shadow abilities, right?" Vorden could see Quinn was a little downhearted by the news he had given him. "Don't look so down," said Vorden. "If we find someone in the school that's good at technology, we can get them to tinker with the watch. Plus, look at the bright side. The military tournament is coming up, and it would be good if you hide your ability until then. Show everyone on the big stage. Besides, if you come back with a level 6 now, they would be more shocked about how you learnt it so fast, so it works in our favor." Hearing those words did cheer Quinn up a bit. Just then, the sergeants and professors had entered the room, and surprisingly, the first person who ran up to both of them was their homeroom teacher, Del. "I'm so glad you're both safe," he said with tears rolling down his face. Quinn and Vorden thought it was sweet and didn't realize the homeroom teacher cared about them so much. But the truth was, Del didn't care about either of them at all. He was filled with tears of joy that they wouldn't have to stay in this scary place any longer. Haley then came over to the 2 of them and did a general checkup to see if they were okay. "You look a little different from the last time I saw you," Haley said. "You remember me?" Quinn asked. "Of course I do. I remember you taking that girl to my office at that time." Not many people even remembered what Quinn looked like after seeing him the first time, which is why the other teachers had no reaction when seeing him, so he was quite surprised. "Boys your age do grow quick. You're looking like a man already," she said, smiling. She didn't know why, but as she was touching Quinn all over, She could feel his bulging muscles. "Looks like the charm effect is working," the system said. "It's a shame you didn't save up all your stats and pull all your points into the thing. She would have confessed to you right here and now." Suddenly, she snapped out of it and took her hands away. After checking all their vitals were fine, she handed both of them a food pill. Although Quinn felt full, he decided to still take the pill regardless. However, as the pill went into Quinn's mouth and down his throat, he started coughing wildly. It was as if he was choking on the pill. "Is he choking?" Del asked. Quinn continued to cough with his hands placed on his knees until he threw up all across the floor. Faye, who was standing by his side, had a worried look on her face. "Haley, quick, check up on him. There's blood in his vomit."
Hi, Quinn here. Wondering what happens next? If you want to jump the queue and unleash all episodes, click on the link here and install the Pocket FM app.
Quinn hadn't eaten anything in the last 2 days. If this was the case with anyone else, then they would be starving with hunger. However, it wasn't the case for Quinn. Before eating the pill, he felt completely full, and he could guess the reason why. Ian's blood. For some reason, as soon as he took that pill, it was like his body was rejecting it. Inedible substance consumed. Haley rushed over to check on Quinn once again and placed him on the floor. She checked everything she could and even started to use her healing ability on his stomach. A healing ability has been detected. Unable to block ability. 55 of 55 HP. "Thank you. I feel much better," Quinn said. "Your hunger grows." "Did you find out what's wrong with the boy?" Faye asked. "Not yet," Haley replied, "but I would need to take him back to the doctor's office when I get back." "Blood bank used. 90 of 100 milliliters. You are no longer hungry." "Are we ready to head off now?" Leo said, staring in the direction of Quinn. "Is he looking at me? Can't be right, he is blind after all." "Now you two," Faye said, looking at Vorden and Quinn. "When we head back, I want a detailed report of what happened. Although we have already heard the other side of the story, we would like to hear yours, so it matches up." "You mean you know someone pushed us into the portal?" Vorden asked. "Yes, the second year who was responsible came forward and admitted it. General Duke is dealing with his punishment as we speak." The group started to walk around the training center, with the kids in the center and Faye leading the front. Behind them was Leo, and now Quinn was sure of it. Leo was staring at him intently. Could Leo have discovered Quinn now had an ability? But if so, why wasn't he saying anything? "When we're back at the school, let's have a talk, just you and me. I promise I won't hurt you," he whispered. Finally, they had reached the reception room. At the desk, there was a computer with a passcode machine next to it. Faye input the code which allowed her to turn and log into the computer. After she typed away a few things, a large mechanical sound could be heard coming from the direction of the arena. The group returned from where they had just come, and this time when entering the stadium, rather than just the plain flooring on the arena floor, out from underneath, a large portal had been lifted and placed there. As the group walked closer to the portal, Quinn was beginning to hear his heart beat louder, and he wasn't the only one. "What's wrong, boy?" Leo said. "It's nothing," he replied. But it was a lie. After throwing up the food pill, it was clear to him that his body had changed after the last evolution. He could eat food, and now he couldn't. So what about other changes? Before, when walking into the sun, he would lose half his stats. What if this time he just burnt to ashes? The group stepped into the portal and exited out from the other end. As they opened their eyes, they could see they were in the training hall, the same one where Peter had pushed Quinn. "Vorden, you head back to class. There are some checks I still need to do on Quinn," Haley said. "Del, you're free to go, and Leo, you come with me. We will report this back to Nathan, telling him the mission is a success, and I'm guessing he will decide what to do with the true dream body." The students were currently in the middle of their classes. Layla was sitting in her seat, hitting her pen constantly on her table. She moved it up and down in the middle with her fingers. It was something she would do whenever she had something on her mind. As soon as classes were over and she entered the hallway, she could hear all the other students mumbling away. "Did you hear? Apparently the missing students are back." "Are you sure?" "Yeah, I saw Vorden walking back to the dorms, and Professor Dell was cheering out loudly in the hallway." "Vorden's back? But what about Quinn? Layla thought. She immediately rushed over to the boys' dorm to see if the rumors she heard were true. She gathered her courage and knocked at the door. A few seconds later, and the last person she wanted to see had opened it. It was Vorden. "Look, let me just get to Chase. Where is Quinn?" Vorden smiled as soon as he saw who was at the door. "He's at the doctor's office." "Thank you," she said as she rushed off. "Wait!" Vorden shouted. As she turned around, she could still see a huge grin on his face. "You're not the only one that knows anymore," he said. "What do you mean?" Layla asked. Vorden then started to walk over to her slowly. The grin on his face was beginning to get creepier by the second. "I'm saying you're no longer special and not needed by him anymore because I know." Layla turned and continued to run, and as she did, she had the final say. "I guess you're still a crazy boy." She ran and ran until eventually she had finally reached the doctor's office. "Quinn!" she said, surprised. For a moment she had to look him up and down a couple of times. His jawline, his clear skin, and just something about him was pulling her towards him. "What's going on?" she said. "Are you using some type of charm spell on me?" She had read enough vampire novels to know what was happening. Her mind was now running wild with thoughts.
Hi, Quinn here. Wondering what happens next? If you want to jump the queue and unleash all episodes, click on the link here and install the Pocket FM app.
Pocket FM.
To unlock all the episodes, click the link in bio.